In the 1990s, ethnic tensions caused the division of Yugoslavia. For the purpose of this video, we're going to focus on one particular case, Kosovo. Kosovo was controlled by Serbia when Yugoslavia was created before World War I. Serbia was mostly Serbs and Kosovo was mostly Kosovar Albanians. Things stayed okay after World War II, and Yugoslavia was turned into a communist state and ruled by Marshal Tito. While Tito was less harsh than other communist rulers, he led with an iron fist made of fear, and most people couldn't express loyalty to their ethnicity unless they identified as Yugoslavian. However, he gave freedom to the Albanians living in Yugoslavia. And that led to the next problem. After his death in 1980, Milosevic, a Serbian nationalist, rose to power. Ethnic ties were strong now that they weren't oppressed. Identifying oneself as a Yugoslavian became a sign that you were sympathetic to the communists and their oppressive regime. Milosevic was able to play this up and cater to the Serbs. He said they were right to feel oppressed, and he encouraged discrimination against Albanians, since they'd had freedom when the Serbs didn't. He also proudly proclaimed, "Everywhere there is a Serb, there is a Serbia," and was perfectly okay with other ethnic groups forming their own independent nations, so long as they didn't have any Serbs. In 1991, Kosovar Albanians declared their freedom after a secret vote, following in Slovenia and Croatia's footsteps. This really ticked Milosevic off. There were still a few Serbs in Kosovo. Unfortunately, few others recognized Kosovo's independence. So in 1996, the KLA, Kosovo Liberation Army, began to resist Serbian presences in Kosovo, and the Serb forces pushed back to crush the resistance. In 1998, after the KLA attacked Serbian police forces, the Serbian soldiers massacred 50 people in the village of Pekaz. Albanians protested, but this only encouraged harsher action from Serbia. From this point on, efforts to resolve the conflict peacefully fall through in almost every attempt. The fighting creates hundreds of thousands of refugees. An election also occurs in Kosovo during this time, and Ibrahim Rugova is formally elected president with 99% of the vote. Finally, Milosevic agreed to withdraw his forces and cease aggression against Kosovo in 1998. However, in January 1999, Serbian forces massacred 34 Albanians in response to continued KLA action. This is known as the Rakak massacre. Milosevic refused to allow any war crime investigator near the scene. After this, the US and other international parties attempted to negotiate for peace in France, but these talks failed by March. After the talks, NATO began airstrikes on Serbia, and these lasted for 78 days before Milosevic agreed to withdraw his forces. In 2008, Kosovo became formally recognized as a country. Now, Kosovo is still facing many issues, including being the poorest country in Europe. Some parts of the country are also heavy sympathizers with Daesh, and Kaknek, a small town, has sent 25 men to fight in Syria, despite the fact that most of the region is pro-Western values after the US aided the Bosnian Muslims during the genocide in Bosnia-Herzegovina. Kosovo's relationship with Macedonia is also strained after citizens of Kosovo crossed the border illegally with possible terrorist intent. 3 police officers were killed in the skirmish in May, and 40 Kosovar Albanian suspects were arrested. Finally, in October, tear gas was released into a parliament meeting by a party opposing deals with Serbia that would help both nations achieve EU membership. Before resorting to the gas, they egged politicians and blew whistles in an attempt to halt the talks. Protests have continued since then and have included riots. On November 28th, Albin Kurti and 86 members of the Self-Determination Party were arrested for their actions in opposition to a law that would have given Serb minorities in Kosovo more rights.